Hi guys, welcome to Superior Star Wars Show. Joe here again, and today I thought I would go through what order I would rank the Star Wars films from worst to best. Punch it! Yeah, excellent. So, before we get started, I just thought I'd quickly point out, I don't know if you guys can see, but this is the new studio going forwards. A bit of a nerd, as you guys probably already, but if you're a major into Star Wars, you're a nerd anyway, like simple as, face facts. But yeah, coming in straight at the bottom of the list is, for me, the worst film out the lot, and that is Solo, A Star Wars Story. I just generally thought, of all the films, I agree with Ryan's opinion as well, of all the films they could have done in terms of solo films, pardon the pun. And we could have had so many different characters, you know, and it was just pointless. I just thought the whole film was pointless, and including Darth Maul at the end there. Know full well that at the end of the day, we're never going to see him again, and that's why it comes in straight at the bottom of the pile. Now, coming in second to last, sadly, but Ryan did include this one, and I don't know why he didn't include this one, because it is a film, and it is canon at the end of the day, and that is the Clone Wars animated film. Now, I generally like this film. I do really like this film. I just put it in the bottom of the pile because, you know, in terms of the actual series itself, the actual series is amazing, I personally think, anyway, that's my personal opinion. But in terms of the film, it's a little bit childish in places, but it beats Solo at the end of the day, and that's why it comes in at that point. Now, coming in at number 10 is most obviously going to be The Last Jedi. Now, personally, didn't like this film at all. There's only a few key moments in that film I do kind of like. One obviously key moment for me is when we see obviously Force Ghost Yoda again. That is just a great moment in terms of the film, but in general it was just a pointless film. And you know, when we finally get to see Luke Skywalker right at the end on Crate, he's just a Force ghost, and you know, he's projecting himself. I mean, I just thought that was a great big FU to the audience and Star Wars fans in general. We waited so long to see Luke Skywalker back in action, and then he's not even there, and that's why it comes in at number 10. Now, coming in at number 9, I think you can sort of see where this chain is going from here, is The Force Awakens. Now, don't get me wrong, nostalgia factor, it was brilliant. You know, I remember when they announced they were doing the new Star Wars film, sitting in the cinema, so excited. It had been so long since we had seen a Star Wars film. And then they go ahead and release that trash. And I know it's got its good moments, don't get me wrong. And like I say, it's just, I just generally feel it's just tying on the nostalgia value for that, realistically. And, you know, if you look at the film, there's just too many similarities to the prequel trilogy. So obviously, you know, you've got like the run where they go to obviously destroy the planet, Starbase. And it's just, it's so reminiscent to obviously A New Hope and Return of the Jedi. And that's why it comes in at number 9. Now, coming in at number 8, of course, it was going to be The Rise of Skywalker. Now, don't get me wrong, in terms of this trilogy, this film blows it out of the water, in my opinion. And it's generally a good film, but it had to make the list, and I just generally think there are far better films in this list that have to pip it. This is why it comes in at number 8. But don't get me wrong, I generally really do like that film. I think some of the effects are fantastic. I think some of the fight sequences are fantastic, actually, if I'm 100% honest. It's my personal opinion, but I think it is a good film, and this is why it comes in at number 8. But it's ranked higher than the others, so it gives it a little bit of justice. Now, coming in at number 7, it was a tough choice for me, if I'm 100% honest, but I ranked in Attack of the Clones for this. Now, don't get me wrong again, there are some great scenes in this film. You know, the arena battle with obviously the Acklay, the Nexu and the Reap, the monsters there, fantastic. And you know, the lightsaber fight, we finally got to see Yoda in action, and I remember sitting in the cinema when that film came out, and the whole cinema erupted when Yoda lighted up his lightsaber and jumping around all over the show like a little can't get my words out, little acrobatic there. And yeah, it was a brilliant film, and Count Dooku's just, you know, Christopher Lee himself, it's just amazing. But there are far better films, I personally think, for this, and this is why it comes in at number 7. Now, personally for me, coming in at number 6, once again, it was a hard choice. It was a very hard choice, but it actually comes in at A New Hope. Now, A New Hope is the film that got everyone into Star Wars. You know, everyone spanning in the 70s all the way through to the 90s. I mean, a lot of people would say, like my generation, would turn around and say the Phantom Menace got you into Star Wars. But no, if you were a kid, you would at least once seen A New Hope. You either love it or you hated it. Of course, Star Wars fan, I love it. But I just think, once again, there are far better action scenes. One of the best highlights of that film is obviously Alec Guinness as old Ben Kenobi. He's brilliant in that film. And of course, it just brings the whole gang together originally in the film, and obviously setting it up for future films and storylines. And this is why it comes in at that point. Now, coming in at number 5, once again, was a very difficult choice for me here, but I have picked The Phantom Menace. Now, a lot of people give that film stick, and don't get me wrong, it's got its bad points. Obviously, Jar Jar Binks, if you watched one of our previous videos, I can rant about Jar Jar Binks till the cow comes home, hence why you won't see one artifact of Jar Jar Binks here. But the film's got its brilliant moments. Obviously, like, the pod racing is fantastic. The music is just spectacular by John Williams. I mean, Duel of Fates, that is one of the best, if not the best, Star Wars soundtrack you will ever hear in terms of the actual music itself. And the lightsaber scenes are just fantastic. I mean, that obviously, the whole Duel of Fates itself with Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Darth Maul, it's just fantastic in my eyes. And I've just got a major soft spot for Liam Neeson, in all honesty. And I just thought he was brilliant as Qui-Gon Jinn. Absolutely nailed it. And this is why it comes in at number 5. Now, number 4 for me actually does come in as Return of the Jedi. Now, Return of the Jedi is a fantastic film. I think the whole Jabba's palace scene is just fantastic. And obviously, the whole end scene with obviously Emperor Palpatine, Darth Vader. But there are some points that let it down, and this is why it's sort of down the list. It should have been higher. I agree, it should have been higher. But there are a few bits of the film I just don't like in general. The Ewoks absolutely wind me up. Stupid. And they were just, I just think, a pointless character. C-3PO, I've never been a big fan of C-3PO, if I'm 100% honest, hence why, once again, you won't really see anything in terms of C-3PO here either. And it's just, I don't know. I don't really know what else to say about the film. I think I'm probably overthinking it. I'm trying to rational why I've put it in as low as the list. But the films that are still left, as you can probably already guess by now, just outrank it completely. But this is why it comes in at number 4. Now, coming in at number 3, this was a very hard choice, but it does go down as Revenge of the Sith. Now, Revenge of the Sith, absolutely amazing film. Emotional film in places as well. Obviously, the lightsaber battle on Mustafar between Obi-Wan and Anakin, I mean, that is just amazing, but so heartfelt at the same time, because you know this is it. This is the end. And also Order 66, seeing that implemented in the film as well, seeing all the characters like Ki-Adi-Mundi and Plo Koon, you know, all of them just getting shot down by the troopers that they had served with throughout the Clone Wars. Once again, if you watch the series, they've got to know and they've got to love. And I just think the series actually ties this up and just makes it even more emotional in terms of actually the film itself. But the last 2 films I just think are far superior than this one, and this is why it comes in at number 3. Now, coming in at number 2, this was a very tough one out the 2 of them, because both of them do have their amazing qualities. But if you've paid attention to the previous video, I have turned around and said before what my favourite film is, so I'm a bit biased in terms of this. But it does come in as The Empire Strikes Back. Now, The Empire Strikes Back, amazing film itself. Obviously, as Ryan pointed out in the previous video, you know, it's the shock factor again as well. We get to finally find out that Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's father. Spoiler alert. And, you know, I just think it's brilliant. I actually generally do like the lightsaber battle between Darth Vader and Luke on the Cloud City. I think that's actually one of the best choreographed lightsaber battles in the whole of the saga completely. And Boba Fett, you know, everyone loves this guy, and he's right down there. But, you know, everyone loves Boba Fett, and this is why it comes in at number 2. Now, coming in at number 1, if everyone's done their math right and everyone's been keeping attention, then of course it was going to be none other than Rogue One. Rogue One, I just thought, was an amazing film. Once again, as touching on Ryan's previous video, it's technically a war film, and I think that's actually why I like it so much. You know, it's very rough and gritty and edgy, and it just generally, it gives you a sense of, you know, desperation and panic. Obviously, as I said before, in the end there, that end scene, the corridor scene, is always going to go down as one of the best scenes ever in Star Wars, in my books, and I know a lot of fans do agree with that opinion. And I just generally feel it just fitted in perfectly in the saga, whereas Solo I just thought was rushed into trying to find its place within the previous films. This one has done an amazing job, and they should be very proud of themselves with this film, hence why it comes in at number 1. So this has been my list, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm not gonna lie, not sorry, I don't actually really care if you didn't, if I'm 100% honest. This is my personal opinion, just like Ryan had his personal opinion. I'm sure you guys do have your own personal favourites on what you rank. I know a lot of fans would rank The Empire Strikes Back as number 1, but just for me, I just think Rogue One pips it. But it's a very, very, very close second. But yeah, that has been my review. Obviously my ranking of the Star Wars films. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. But other than that, guys, have a superior day.